Yes, indeed. I'm starting up a semi-playthrough of one of my favorite games of all time, Civilization 4 Beyond the Sword. And I'm going to let the introduction play through here, and we'll see you on the other side.
Achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace among ourselves and all nations.
Hey everybody, doing something a little different this morning. As you see, we're playing Civilization 4 Beyond the Sword, and this is a custom mod for it called Caveman2Cosmos. And it's almost a complete modification, almost like a complete conversion of it. It adds an entire new era to the Civilization 4 timeline, whereas before you start in ancient times, now you start in prehistoric times as a tribe of cavemen, and you have to it adds a heck of a lot more technologies in all the research. I think there are 524 technologies in this particular version, and you don't even start out with stuff like the wheel, the wheel and alphabet and mining and fishing and all that you start out with in a regular Civilization game. This, you have to even discover those. In fact, I think you might start out with language, and that's about it. You've just discovered how to talk to each other. And you might have fire. I'll have to take a look and see. But we're going to set up a custom game. Once you load in the mod, you have to go to custom game and set the settings for that. So we'll see what those look like. Alrighty folks, as you see here, we start a custom game. When it comes up, I've loaded in Narlo, and I've changed it to the Gnomish Empire, Narlandia, and Gnomish as my adjective. I'm picking Louis XIV. He's industrious and creative. The industrious, this is kind of my absolute favorite combination of leader traits in the game. Creative gives you the extra bonus to all your cities for culture and some other effects. That's the biggest thing I'm going for. I love going for cultural victories. I like to just keep expanding my borders and flipping cities and stuff. Industrious also allows you to I know you can speed up building forges and I think workshops and that sort of thing. It also allows you to build wonders 50% faster, and I love collecting wonders, so that's my favorite combo. If I can't go with that, I go with like spiritual and creative, so I can go down the religious route. Obviously, picking Louis, I'm picking France, and I don't think France has any national advantages are kind of turned off in this particular mod. The only thing that it'll have is European culture, I think, is what one of the technologies that you can research with France. I put it on chieftain mode. When I play regular Civ 4, you know, I'm not one of the ultra players who sits there and tries to get to the moon before AD turns around, so I usually play on warlord level. Being that I'm not a total beginner, I ain't gonna go on settler, but since I'm very, very new to this mod and I haven't played it, I've only watched a couple of episodes of a Let's Play, I'm gonna go with chieftain level. Alright, with a huge world, there's gonna be 11 AIs that I'm fighting against. I've got them all set to random. I'm using the Perfect World 2F map, huge. This is very important. You have to set it to prehistoric, otherwise it'll start in ancient, and you'll miss out on all the fun stuff like researching fire and language. And as you see past the modern era, it adds in transhuman, galactic, and future. So eventually you're like researching mechs and laser technology and that sort of thing. It adds a couple of new speeds to the game instead of the marathon, which was the slowest speed in regular CIV4. Beyond the Sword, it's added snail and eternity. We're going to run in eternity mode. We are not going to be seeing every single turn and all. That would be like a several hundred episode long let's play, I'm sure. Basically, you know, I'll play this whenever I have time to play it, when I'm feeling like playing it, getting away from the other games, and basically I'll upload something when something interesting happens in the game, like I make build a particularly interesting wonder or something like that. Start in the old world, that means we'll all start on the same continent, and the new continent, if there is one, will be totally fresh without any civilizations. Break Pangeas, because I don't like one big world continent. I like everything broken up into several continents. The other stuff, all the victory conditions are in play. The other advanced options here are kind of what most people play on the forums, on the thread that I was reading. You know, new random seed, that's something I always play with. Beyond that, we've got start as a minor civilization. You're not even a regular civilization, you're a minor civilization, meaning that you have no diplomacy until you've researched writing. That's one of the things that you have to research, and therefore when you run into any of the other civilizations, it is your tribe against theirs, and you're automatically at war because you don't trust anybody else. Multiple production and multiple research, that's if you've got things queued up in your research or queued up in your city for production. If you produce something and it has more hammers than what it needs, instead of being converted into gold, they're added into the next one. So you can already, if you're researching, let's say, warriors, you finish some warriors, the hammers automatically spill over into the next sort of warrior. As you know, in Civilization 4, you can't use the mountains. They're just basically dead space. Here, this allows you to use mountains. In fact, if you research the Mountaineer technology, it allows you to actually move units through the mountains, and you'll be able to mine them and that sort of thing as you gain technology. Surround and destroy kind of adds flanking and ambushes to the combat. Advanced diplomacy is exactly what it says. It has more diplomatic options, including making embassies and that sort of thing. Unlimited wonders, you can build as many wonders as you want in a city. You're not limited to the normal 4. Barbarian generals, this will make barbarians tougher. Barbarian units will gain experience, they can upgrade, and they can have generals attached to their units. So that's going to make them a lot tougher. Assimilation is cultural assimilation. It means whenever you flip a city and take it over, they maintain the same culture. So for instance, I'm France. If I defeat a Roman city and bring it into my empire, the people there are still Roman. They may be giving their tribute and their tax money to me, but they're still Roman, so they'll be able to build unique Roman cities and unique Roman military units in that city. So that's a very nice one to have. We'll have great commanders. That gives the great generals bonuses for leading people into battle. The personalized map, the map will have, kind of like in Civ Revolution, it'll have landmarks that have names attached to them, rather than just being that mountain over there. Advanced economy gives you a lot more trading options, stuff like that, and you also can get inflation set in. Realistic cultural spread means that every time your borders pop, they don't just go out in a set pattern out in every direction. They will spread out in a realistic manner, so that if you've got a swamp off to one side, your borders won't necessarily encompass that swamp. They'll try to spread around it at first. Realistic corporations. The corporations grow without any kind of, they are formed and grow without any kind of input on your part. You can tax them, you can subsidize them, and that sort of stuff, but you don't have to. But being the world leader, you're obviously not forming corporations. You're just using them for your own benefit. Religious decay means that the religions in the game decay and go away if they're not taken care of. If you form, it means you have to put some effort into them. You know, you may found Judaism, or you may found the Norse religion, or whatever. If you don't try and spread it and build temples and monasteries and that sort of stuff, the religion can eventually die out. Barbarians will always burn cities. United Nations are in play. Advanced espionage, like you can send your spies into towns and try and steal aid factions and blow up facilities and that sort of stuff. Guilds is a new option in this mod that basically forms medieval corporations. So the corporations that come into play in modern era, this brings basically corporations into the medieval period. Then you have advanced nukes, which gives you a whole bunch of different nuclear options for using your weapons and all. So that's the options we're playing under, and we're going to launch the game and get started here. I should see the new splash screen come up here in just a second. Indeed. You'll also notice I've got the music turned down quite a bit. Like right now, Secret Agent Man is playing very softly in the background. It's because I know he's added in a good deal of music that would cause some copyright problems. So you probably won't hear a lot of music while we're playing along here. Splash screen kind of gives the whole feel for the game. You know, over here you got cavemen fighting with stone clubs and all. Then you've got Roman legions. Looks like you've got Napoleonic era cavalry units, the Age of Sail, World War I, modern day like Vietnam era type fighting, and then over on this side there looks like a battle mech there with some kind of advanced body armor, and down here some kind of Samus type character wearing what looks like some sort of cybernetic helmet here. So gives you an idea of what kind of expanse that this game has, this mod has increased the game to. So we'll be joining it here in just a moment.